and 32nd. So let's go meeting to order. Roll call.
Klein.
Here.
Enoch.
Here.
Pujol.
Here.
Roder.
Here.
Stagg.
Here. Okay. Approve the agenda.
Motion to approve.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Public comment regarding anything not on the agenda. Which tab, sir?
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, well, I understand we're going to get time clocks for the employees.
Yes.
Well, all the employees live out of town. They have to drive into town. Why can't they all come up here and park, come in at time, punch, then go on to work? We have so many time clocks.
I think we only ended up getting 2, is that correct?
Actually,
No.
we did get 3.
3,
Okay. So, they were not very expensive at all. And there's,
Yeah, what, $36 a piece?
so,
well, is that the ones you showed me?
Yeah, they're on my desk.
That would be ideal because it's run by a fingerprint of mine. Yeah,
Yep.
that is a very good idea. So I agree, we need a time clock.
I think the thought process also, Norm, was like snow removal and stuff like that, overtime stuff. Instead of making them come up here, clock in, then go down there, they'd be able to just clock in straight from there. So they still have to use fingerprint, it's just now they don't have to take an extra step. They can get, even if it saves us 5 minutes, them out on the streets.
Plus, if they have it in here, and if they don't have the keys to get in here, then they can't get in here,
They do.
But,
They always do.
Well, if you're gonna work with that type of time clock, I've got no objection.
we try to make it as simple as we possibly could.
Yeah. Okay, and the other thing is that damnable burn pile down there. That is terrible. I understand who is the neighbor complained about the smoke. I can understand why. There's so damn much stuff down there, it's pathetic. And we get people from all over dumps there. Just not, hardly ever city people. Here, I think about a month ago, I was at the post office. I come out and here comes this truck loaded with brush. North Liberty tree trimming. He turned and went up over the hill, down to the burn spot. And luckily it was closed because I think they planned on burning. But anyway, I've heard people come from the east and the west all the time, dumping stuff down there. So I got a solution, if you want. I'll volunteer, give me a damn key, and I will open it for anybody that wants it open to dump. Otherwise, keep it closed. And why are we getting these huge logs down there? We never used to.
The tree trimming company apparently is bringing them in, so.
Yeah, but there's some that have been down there for years. That first big batch, been there for years.
Yeah, that pile's out of control right now.
Yeah.
It's so flipping big that it's gonna take forever to get burned down.
Yeah.
Cause they don't burn it, they don't burn it often enough. They get a little bit down there, they should burn it up and
Yeah,
be done with it. you
well,
know?
it seems like they're always too busy doing something. Who knows what? But anyway, I would volunteer because I'm here, I'm retired. I got plenty of time in my hands.
I think it's a good idea, Norm, but how they gonna get a hold of you though?
Call my phone number.
Well, I mean, we have, everybody in Swisher, you have to have that phone number, and I agree with you, it's just get
Just
out.
write it on the board down there.
Huh?
Write my number on the board. They go down and they want to dump something.
I think, if you would for a minute, I understand it is a problem. It's a problem that we've had for quite a while.
Yeah,
And we've addressed it in the past, trying to come up with a solution or something, so maybe we need to get it back on the agenda and discuss this again. Now that you're bringing it up, that makes sense to me. I'm not sure what the solution is gonna be, but I don't think it's getting a resident to go down or to do what Norm's talking about.
I don't think that's the answer either, but I also think the answer is keeping that gate locked when,
Yes.
so it
Well,
does keep people that do not supposed to be dumping in there
Before
from
we
dumping in there.
before we get too much farther here with the discussion on this, I just advocate we put it on the future agenda to address it. Maybe it's at the next meeting.
Especially as we start coming into spring.
Yeah,
We could possibly do an extra patrol out there too, but the problem would be like knowing who can and can't.
Yeah.
you
Right.
know.
right. You're not gonna
But
wanna
maybe our
stop it.
presence there would deter, some people that probably, that know they're not supposed to be out there.
The biggest problem, it needs to be burned more often.
Yeah.
That's the issue.
Yeah.
And then there's the chippings, down there, that won't burn, that'll smolder for months.
Yeah.
Those chippings should never be put in there. And
Well,
the
that
big ones shouldn't be there either.
Yeah, there's some of that stuff that might even just have to be taken out of there.
The chips are gonna be taken, that won't burn, that'll just
And
smell.
those big, and then the big ass logs that's in there, if it's gonna take forever in a day to burn those things, we might be better off just hauling them away somewhere, you know?
Well, that's something we can discuss when
Right.
we get it on the agenda.
I can tell you just because I work with Walford just down the road, everything for them is by appointment. They basically got to the point, we lock that first gate to the wastewater plant and everything there, if you want to dump, you have to call, someone has to meet you there, they have to agree you're from the community. They look at all the sizes of your stuff
Yeah,
and decide
Should
if
be
they,
taking big stuff,
yeah, but I'm sure, the problem
unless
is,
it's a derecho again or something.
obviously, when you're making
emergency.
appointments, that puts a lot of burden on you to take the phone calls and then get with everyone. I get it, but that's
I mean, shouldn't be.
well, they'll probably be calling City Hall, I guess, is all I'm
Public
saying,
Works,
so
yeah.
they'll probably call City Hall, but
We've,
that's what they do up there.
we've
Sure.
tried to do something like that in the past, and it was hard to get a hold of, like, whatever council members or whatever, or the mayor at that time, in order to facilitate that, because not, somebody was available all the time, so.
And yeah, I'm not telling you, I'm only telling you just down the road what they're doing.
Right.
That may be
It's
good or bad or
obviously
whatever,
doable.
but
Let's just wait till it's
Yeah,
on the
exactly.
agenda.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we wait till we get it back, get it on.
Thanks, Norm, though.
Well, I want to just finish up on this guy coming in. I followed him. He pulled up down there and the gate was closed. So he sat there on his phone. I drove on uptown and I just parked waiting. He pulled up he put the cover on, then he went out of town. Because they have to take him, but Johnson County landfill, well, they don't want to have to spend the money. So anyway, that's pretty much,
I have a complaint, and I wrote a little sheet here, what we kind of did, that way you kind of see what it is that we're talking about. So what happened was, we have a property on 60 Division Street, and we were putting in a sign, and basically, on our sign that we were putting in, we called way back in July, I think it was, and we asked about what code was to Shelley to be able to put in a sign, and we were informed it was 50 to 100 foot off the road. And somewhere in that vicinity, which obviously didn't make sense to us, so then we went ahead and did some more research, got with Johnson County, figured out it could be a lot closer, and we needed to figure out what we needed to do to put in the sign. So we went ahead, got permits, got it all figured out, and then it got tabled until my permit was expiring in January, and we called then again Johnson County, making sure we followed their code, and then we called, my employee called Shelley to make sure that we were following the code of the city, so we didn't have to do this sign again. And Shelley informed us that the sign could not obstruct the road. And that's what she told my employee. And so from that, we went ahead and put in the sign. We asked distances and all that stuff, no information. We couldn't get any information as far as what distance it needs to be off the road. Just not obstructing the road. So we put in the sign. 2 days later, I get told I'm in the right of way, sign can't go there. And I'm like, no, that's a mistake. We checked every possible box to make sure that we only had to do the sign once, because it's in obviously January when the frost is in the ground. Nobody wants to be digging in that. I literally, again, after I got my warning of this, I think it was Monday then, Shelley calls me, we have a conversation, and accuses me of calling her a liar and hangs up the phone on me while we're trying to work through this stuff. I call again. I'm gonna get the mayor to send you a letter and that's it, and she hangs up the phone again, basically. And so I got hung up on twice, which is extremely disrespectful when you're trying to figure out the information. We, in good faith, went off what she said for us to do. We've left, it says on here, 2 emails, 3 voicemails with the mayor, trying to figure out why we got sent a 30-day notice to get our sign out, otherwise we're gonna get billed to get our sign out of the ground when it's in the middle of winter. When we covered all these bases, he hasn't heard one thing from us as far as what we did with the sign or what's going on. Instead, we just get a note saying, hey, you gotta get it out. We get back from vacation, that's what we found out. Our sign's in the wrong spot and it's gotta be moved, or we're gonna get billed. And and one thing was, Shelley said you had a full year to be able to remove the sign, or a full year to get the sign in, which I told her, I said, I don't know, I'll check on that. I called Johnson County because Johnson County was getting mad at me because this is when the sign had to go in. Their permits only last for 6 months. And so that's why there was a rush to it. She's like, why would you rush this? I was like, I didn't rush it. I said I had to because of Johnson County to get the sign in. So that was, and then she said, you caught me in a lie. And then that was one of the hangups. And I was like, I'm not even trying to accuse you of a liar. I just want accurate information. Nikki and I are gonna be doing bigger things on our property, and I can't do them twice. This is now a financial burden that has put us on with the sign. I had to dig the thing out in the middle of the frost today, which is, to me, is ridiculous. Why you'd ever mandate somebody, because you can't get back with anybody, which is, for some reason, a small town, I don't understand why you can't get back with me when I've, 3 weeks now it's been since we've tried to get a hold of this, and I had 30 days to get it out. So 3 weeks, 21 days, I got 9 more days. That doesn't make sense to me. So I think this is a legit complaint as far as why in the world can you send me a note that day, but you can't return a call, an email, nothing in response. Oh, and by the way, after I was informed that the note's coming, as far as from the signed note from the mayor, is when I got the plot map sent to me from, I think it was Justin, with the right-of-way distance, because we didn't know the right-of-way distance that I had to be off the road either. So I'm trying to put in a sign and nobody can tell me distance, nothing. So that's why I'm here. I'm at a complaint because I don't know what to do, and in the future, I don't want to redo things. I want the right answers. We acted in good faith with the information we were given. We were given the information a day before we put in the sign, and we did that to make sure, out of good faith, we followed all the codes to make sure we didn't have to do this sign twice. I mean, why would we call if we weren't gonna listen? It doesn't make sense to me. So, I guess that's where I'm at on this.
Your complaint is noted. And all I can say is right now, I apologize. I am new to this position by all means. I'm still learning quite a bit, especially with the ordinances and setbacks and all that. So we had to get people to help get information for that. So, and due to the fact I also have a full-time job like everyone else. So time is not always easy to make. So, and I apologize for anything along those lines. As far as the setbacks and stuff like that, we had to dig up that information. Just like, and Johnson County is who pointed out that the sign did not look like it was in the right position when they came out to us to give Shelley some information on something else. So that's how that transpired. So as far as phone calls back and forth, I can't answer all of that. I've only heard what Shelley has told me. And if she had gotten short with you, I apologize for that. I don't think it was her intentions. So,
I just never been hung up on, twice trying to get the right information.
like I said, not knowing both sides of the story, I just gonna have to say that we apologize for that and we'll try to make it correct somehow. So we don't ever have that happen again.
So you didn't know the right-of-way distance when we were inquiring about the sign to get it in the ground?
That was
first time?
before I was here, so I cannot answer that.
I don't know anything about it, Paul, I don't know, that's what I was gonna ask you too, I don't know what the right-of-way distance is either, I don't even know exactly which sign you're talking about, so.
I didn't know what the right-of-way distance was.
Right, I still don't, to tell you the truth.
And that's why we were inquiring before we installed the sign, is because obviously frost is not fun to dig in.
Right,
And I know in the summer when we were trying to inquire about some stuff, we didn't know the right-of-way distance then either. And so that's why we wanted to make sure we got this covered. But when we were informed, can't obstruct the road, that's nothing about a right-of-way. That's literally don't obstruct the road. I kept it 7 foot back. Prairie High School signs, 7 foot 6 inches off the road. Central Bank, their sign that turns in, 8 foot off the road. I kept my sign in that vicinity because I was like, well, this must be right. I wasn't trying to hog the road. But what I was very upset about is the fact that I had 30 days to get my sign out in the middle of winter, or I'm gonna get fined. And I got hung up on twice. I don't think I deserved that.
We wouldn't find you.
Somebody's gonna find me because somebody was gonna be moving my sign.
Not this council.
The 30 days was from what then, that time span is?
That
That was on your permit to put the sign out or what?
No,
Or
the
on
30
your-
days was the time I had to get the sign out of the ground. And I tried
Oh, to
calling,
get it out of the ground.
and I got hung up on her twice, so I wasn't gonna call her back. I don't need to get hung up on the third time. I tried calling the mayor and I left him a couple emails and I can't get a response. What am I supposed to do in those situations? That's why I'm here today, because obviously I'm gonna be doing more projects. I need to know how to handle this.
I guess I got a question, I'm new to this too, who determines where the, right-of-way property's at? I know there's gotta be pinned somewhere, who determines how far it is from the road is? Do we have any maps that shows where the right-of-way is in relationship to the road?
They sent me a map 2 days after, or after we inquired, about this, when did they send me the map? They sent me the map after we already got the 30-day notice letter of
that-
where the right-of-way is, and it's a map.
Shows the feet from the.
Shows
center-
you, yeah, it's from the center of the road over, is how our map showed it for our property.
Okay, so how far off were you from that?
I was probably 10 foot in.
Close to the
Yep, it needs
south?
to be moved over. From what I took from the map, now I put a glove and a brick there and I wrote an email, approve the spot before I dig it. Because Johnson County wants the sign done, and then, quite frankly, I wanna make sure I'm not doing this a third time, because I'm gonna really be pissed then.
Now, when Johnson County gave the permit, do they determine or approve distance at all or not?
They don't care.
Just give you a permit, is that right?
You got, yeah, you just pay for the permit, from there, you just gotta pass whatever the city wants.
Okay.
So, which is why they just told me it's all up to the city, they don't even care. And so that's why we inquired with Shelley, and out of good faith with what she said, that's what we did.
Okay.
Well, we probably need to have something on the agenda and talk it over, see what we do, so this doesn't happen again,
Right.
because there's gonna be more signs going up, I mean, Paul's got anybody can be putting up signs, it's not gonna be the last time that.
Right, but for the most part, anything that's put in within those right-of-ways, we've had them removed. They shouldn't be putting things in the right-of-ways.
Yeah, but we also should have let Paul know that it was in the right of way.
I did let Paul know that, that's all I'm gonna say, but I did. I let his person that called in, I know Nikki and I spoke about it, yes, I did make the mistake of saying it had to meet the agricultural setbacks. I later rectified that with Nikki, referenced the agricultural sign setback, it couldn't obstruct the right of way. It had to be placed on private property. And that's again what was talked about with your worker when he called in. He asked me, how do I find the right of way? I said, you can find your property pins to know where the right of way starts. But I never, I know, and I've been doing this for 18 years, I know nothing can be placed in a right of way, nothing.
You also know
So
that the permit
I don't
fee-
want to debate this at this meeting. I know what I said, and that was not that it could be placed in the right of way.
Well, I think regardless, council can't take action, correct?
No.
Because it's not an agenda item. So I think what we have to do is put you on next 2 weeks' agenda.
Okay.
To make a decision on how council wants to proceed along with, yeah. Because I think what we'll have to do.
What I would do is at the next meeting, if we do get it on the agenda, then we can discuss it then and then possibly move forward with some kind of solution or some kind of idea on what can be put forward to resolve it, to resolve the problem.
I mainly wanna know, what do you do when you're getting that type of information? And how are you supposed to move through when you can't talk to, or you don't get a response? And I know you're new to the job, I understand that.
And part of the issue is I don't have full access to my emails yet.
Okay,
So we're trying to get that remedied between Shelley and I and the IT guy.
okay.
So we will get that corrected within the week, 10 days. So, and I apologize for that.
Well,
And we will move forward and try to get better at communication.
yeah, cause
all we can do.
digging a sign out in frost really sucks.
Yeah.
It's concrete.
But can I also ask a favor?
What's that?
Next time you start a fire, do not leave it unattended. Because the deputy had to come and then the fire department had to come.
Yep.
And I was standing there with them the whole time.
Okay.
So,
And just FYI, Paul, I mean, do a one call, you know, call 811, a one call, and then that would have notified the city to come out and do markings and other utilities. Probably then would have put a red flag up to say, hey, this is in the right of way. I mean, I'm not saying that was your fault, I'm just saying, when you do place the sign in the correct spot now, make sure to do a one call. That would help.
Well, one call, know where the property line's at?
No, but it'll mark, they'll know if there's a utility or some type of a line in the right of way. And that's, because that's where they're to be placed,
The
it's just in the
one
right.
one call wouldn't have mattered as far as the information I received for the sign. So all it would have told you was if there's a line in there.
Yeah.
Right, if you were gonna
Maybe
get something.
distance.
Yeah.
I
And
read
we've
right from the
done-
agricultural zoning code about signs to your person that called in.
You might have, but my wife and my employee gave me the exact same answer. And I didn't ask them one question about it or grill them, I just said, what did she tell you? And both gave me the exact same answer, which tells me they had some valid information for me. So, that's what I have to go with when we're actually working. We went on good faith with that information.
Got a question. You have any idea where your pins are at on that property? Probably don't, have no idea, do you?
No, Ralston's slowly getting them marked out because we're the back of some of his lots, which has been nice.
See, I guess on my property, I wouldn't know where my pins are either.
There's old raggedy fences out there, but to find the pin, not that I really, honestly, I don't care that much where they're at for sure.
Figure out some way to even get information to them where the lines are at somehow if we can. I don't know if we're,
It's not a city responsibility.
Well, yeah, I know it
just-
isn't.
I mean,
I know it is,
to
but
find
it's,
property pins anyway.
well,
There's
But-
guys you can get to locate them pretty reasonable,
right.
they go around with the metal detector.
I had to locate mine.
Yeah, we've had them locate for properties for us before.
Mine's in the middle of that creek.
In the middle of a creek.
If you're wanting that info, Daryl, I can get it for you.
huh?
I can get you a guy's name that'll find your pins for you if you want it.
I'm not gonna put anything up.
Okay. I'm not either that close to the property line. I just wanna make sure when I put something up, I don't do it twice. Cause the next one I'm not moving. It'll be much bigger than the sign.
Yeah.
So the sign is out though now, Paul, right?
Sign is out as of
Yeah.
today, yes.
And Justin wasn't in today to respond to your email about location right now, so
And I told,
I'll make sure that he gets with you tomorrow to see if
anytime
the
next week's
glove
fine.
with the brick is fine and,
Yeah, anytime next week is fine. Obviously it'll get buried with snow here probably.
yeah.
I told
Unfortunately.
Johnson County is working with me as far as letting me have a little leniency because of the situation.
Yeah, and the city's rectifying the city code, that was correct, that you do have a year with the city, so
Yes.
that's being rectified tonight.
Oh, to go to 6 months?
Well, to mirror what the county has,
Which is 6 months.
yeah.
Which,
Sure.
And as far as the 30 days, that was at the instruction of the city attorney. So I apologize for that, and the mayor signing that, but obviously we know, obviously we know that 30 days wouldn't have been our guys are not gonna go out there and try to pull those signs either in that type of weather. Unfortunately. City attorney's instructions, and that's who we take.
Call would have been great, just to tell me.
I
Nobody wants to.
I
dig a
tried,
hole.
yeah, I tried. We tried communicating, it didn't work.
Okay, so, any other public comment? All right, let's move on to approved consent agenda items.
Motion approved.
question for consent agenda item for the American Legion.
Yeah,
Do we have?
no, I did try to, I've called that, is it Sandy?
Sandy?
Several times, and the last, I think it was Thursday or Friday when I tried to call, the mailbox was full, so it's still not, ready online.
Okay.
So this is in the consent agenda here. Do we want to strike that
I
out,
left it
or
on
do
the
we-
agenda, hoping maybe by today it would have been ready, but unfortunately it's not, so.
We
Yeah.
can make a note.
It just won't be approved, obviously. Because it's not ready.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor? All opposed? Okay. Down to the reports. The sheriff is the first one up.
Nothing for you guys.
Our Wednesday's fine.
I've been out for a month, I'm the wrong guy to ask about that, but we can get you, call numbers if you want.
When were we gonna review it?
We can get a couple months. or
Yeah,
something.
a couple days. I'm not worried about numbers, like, as long as there's no big issues, I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
I just wanna make sure.
I haven't heard any complaints or anything.
Okay. City engineer.
Thank you.
Yeah,
We
you
had
have a written
report.
report from
We had a
them.
written
Okay.
report.
The mayor and council report.
This isn't really a report or anything, just something I wanna bring up, that I think I'd kinda like to get back on the agenda for next meeting. I think we need to review what we talked about last thing about the residents up here and, the not doing with the cleanup and everything else and the fine and everything. Cody brought up some really good points to me this week about if that was like our neighbors and if that was my neighbor or whatever, and I was looking out at all that stuff, we gotta look out for like all the citizens of Swisher, like the people that complained about it, obviously. It's an eyesore for them. I haven't seen a lot of improvement up there. I hate to tell you the truth, I hadn't been up there until like the last few days, but it doesn't look any better to me or much better to me than it did before. I just think we probably need to review that. I'm not saying what we do or whatever, but I don't think I don't think we just drop it because
No.
we're just giving him more time and time and time, and I hate to do it and everything, but I mean, we gotta look out for like everybody in Swisher, like if this was, say it was Norm's neighbor and it was, or whoever, I'm just saying anybody's, it's just something we need to, I think we might have made a mistake on putting it off. I think we need to review, maybe have another discussion at the next, or put that on the agenda for next time, if you guys don't mind that, because Cody brought up some really good points to me that last week or earlier or whatever, that, it is an eyesore and it's something that needs to be addressed, and he's definitely had plenty of time to get it fixed and do whatever. I know it's terrible weather. I know that's kind of why in the first place, we kind of put it off because we thought he was kind of making a little bit of progress and everything, but I still think we need to discuss it a little bit more and see if we can come up with I don't know, maybe a better, solution than,
I agree with you on that.
So, yeah, I mean, he beat me to the punch. I was either gonna I'd like to either bring up revisiting that and the fine, or we need to change our ordinance. That's why I made the comment to Paul, we're not gonna fine you because we set the precedent that fines don't matter. And we have ordinances, no, let me finish. We have ordinances in place to take the personal out of some of our decision-making. As soon as we start bringing in the personal and our friendships in this town, that's where we start bending our own rules, and we can't do that. We have to follow city ordinance, or we change the ordinance to something that we will follow. So I don't care if we wanna, might as well, on next agenda, put in there revisiting that property along with the ordinance, because I can't say, let's just revisit that, and then we come to the same conclusion. So I think they're kind of tied hand in hand, and I think, I don't wanna discuss much because it's not an agenda item, but that property / ordinance, I think both of it needs to be revisited because, and I apologize for not being at that meeting, I was definitely spoke up, but, I have other commitments too, so. Yeah, but I did personally reach out to Kurt and.
May I suggest tabling it for one extra meeting, so the first one of March, since I will not be here for the next meeting.
That's fine. Yeah,
That way everyone's all in one spot.
I'm totally agree with Cody, but I'm not really for changing the ordinance. I think it's more that we need to stick by the ordinance, like he says, and take the hey buddy out of the.
I agree with
And,
that.
and the ordinance, and he's right, that's why the ordinances are in place, because, I mean, if it was somebody living next to Cody or me or somebody else, I'd have a complaint about it too, and I know his neighbor's got just as much right to have a complaint about it than anybody in this, town. They're all taxpaying citizens, just like all of us, so we gotta listen to them too.
Okay. Next is the staff and others, the ION report.
So Shelley had mentioned, and, I couldn't be at the meeting last month, I was dealing with a kidney stone at the time, my first one, so I was having a great time. So she had mentioned about possibly looking at reports to try to see if there's gonna be any pump savings if we start fixing some I&I problems. So just to kind of address that a little bit, I think I referenced it in the report somewhat, but, this city does not have severe I&I problems, especially compared to a lot of communities that we deal with. Before the meeting, we were kind of just, shooting the breeze a little bit about it, but, Kyoto's a community that's a similar size to you, in terms of, right around 1,000 people, they're right around 1,000 people. Flows are pretty comparable when there's no rain. The difference is when you guys get rain, your flows tend to about double. Maybe it's something just egregious. I mean, they never really get obnoxiously high, is the point I'm trying to make. Whereas like Kyoto, they'll have 1.2 million gallons a day, which is like 10 times what's normal. You guys will be somewhere around 100,000 gallons a day. We get some rain, it shoots up to 200,000. Maybe if it's really bad for several days, we'll get closer to 3. Lots of communities will get 4, 5, 6, up to 10 times as much flow with I&I problems. So this town doesn't have a lot, and my point is just to say, you're not gonna get any cost savings from the pumps. They're not running so much more that it's gonna make a real difference. If the city really would want to look at some options for energy savings at the wastewater plant, the absolute unquestionable way to do that is focus in on being able to shut the blowers off. There are modern Aeromod plants. You guys have what's called an Aeromod plant. That's just the brand of the wastewater plant that you have. All of the modern ones have built-in technology that detects the dissolved oxygen in the basins. That dissolved oxygen really only needs to be between about 2 and 3. And so what you can do is when it hits a high level, it shuts the plant down and turns all the blowers off. And then as the DO starts to decrease and hits a certain set point, it turns everything back on. So you'll go from operating your blowers for 24 hours to maybe operating them for 18 hours. And that makes a big difference, because if they're running every minute of every day, if you can cut out 4, 5, 6 hours or something like that, you'd see some legitimate cost savings. Now, to save money, lots of times you gotta spend money. You're probably looking at $5,000 to $10,000 for the DO equipment, and you're probably looking at $30,000 to $40,000 for the SCADA upgrades that would be required to incorporate everything and actually put in a true control system to be able to deal with those set points and do that type of work. So you're probably talking about that kind of money if you really wanted to do some type of upgrade that in the long run, we could get some energy savings out of it. But kind of barring that, you're not gonna see anything significant. And I'm happy, I sent Shelley all of the reports for 2024, so I mean, I'm happy to provide any of the numbers, right? No, that's a big deal whatsoever, but I just don't think you're gonna notice any legitimate cost savings down there energy-wise. Those pumps just run a little more often when we get rain, but not enough that's gonna be significant, so.
Okay,
Okay, thank you. Questions about that or anything?
Okay.
at the moment.
All right, fair enough. If you ever want like hard numbers, let me know, I can get some quotes, but my experience would tell me, we just did a SCADA upgrade in Lone Tree, we did some DO equipment, some other places, just by my previous experience, that's gonna be a rough ballpark of what you'd be looking at cost-wise.
Let's just do it, we don't have to.
Yeah, cause that'd be a long payback to get
It probably would, and that, yeah, it probably would be. So,
savings.
For updates for our website, I did talk to Catalyst before I started. The process had begun of updating the website. They didn't receive some information that they needed, so I reached back out to them. They have sent 3 templates. They all look extremely similar. And the main stuff is on the back end for me, what would be different. And they will transfer everything over. Apparently, we've already paid for this a year plus ago. So now they just need our go-ahead on doing that. So I've been in communication with them. Once a template is picked out, it will take 16 to 18 weeks for them to transfer everything over and then go live with the new site. So we don't really have to do anything, but just an update that the website will be changing and that we've already paid for it.
Sweet. And the only thing that I had was just, we had the progress meeting on the, or I'm sorry, pre-con meeting on the sanitary sewer lining project with HR Green and Municipal Pipe. That project began today. So notice did go out to the community, and also Municipal Pipe will notify those property owners when they start doing work of kind of what to expect, what you might want to do in your home. And they were thinking mid to end of March that they should be finished, but of course they have until April 11th for the final completion of the project.
Of this year.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, LRS Waste Services?
How you doing? David Bitterman. Matt's under the weather, so I'm the operations manager for here in North Liberty. So I cover the operation. Joey Scott, who's the general manager, he covers, my boss, oversees a couple different locations. So Matt set up this so that we could come in and just kind of basically touch base, see where we're at, see what things that we need to work on. We're not perfect, we know that. I know that I've talked to you a couple times, Shelley came out, some residents, I think last time I talked to you, they thought we missed all of 3rd Street. We came out and it was a situation to where a lot of times the lids are open and that's how they know the trash is empty. The lids were closed and so they thought we hadn't picked it up. And when we came out and looked, all of them were empty. So some of it's perceived. I ain't gonna tell you we don't miss 1 or 2 now and then. We do come up and pick them up. We err on the side of taking care of the customer, right? Taking care of the resident. So again, the basis of our wanting to be here tonight is to kind of hear what you guys have for us, what we can do better at, anything that you would like to change, you would like us to do different, we can take it back and discuss it and see if logistically we can make it happen. Kind of where we're at.
The only complaints I heard from a couple different people is they tried calling in to the North Liberty office to get someone to talk to. The stuff had gotten missed and there was no communications at all. And same with us, we were trying to get better at that. Just want to know what your possible solutions are for communications getting better.
So, we did find, last week, that we do have one line that goes to a voicemail, and we don't know where that's going. So we are working on it to try and figure that out so that, that can happen, that they can talk to a live person. We do have live customer service reps that do answer the phones, and, they will take any complaint that is a missed pickup, whatever, and they will do what we call create an order. And then we will come back up and pick it up. For coaching purposes, what I do is I'll pull the video, right? And just see and make sure we missed it, right? And why we missed it. And that way I can coach the driver on not doing that again, right? In a lot of cases, we find out that it wasn't out. We were there maybe a little bit early than the previous week or whatever. We still go back and get it, right? We still go back and get it because it's the right thing to do at the end of the day, right? But I do that as well for the coaching standpoint.
Another complaint, you're talking about that Third Street thing where it was, but that's not the only time that's happened. That's happened a few different streets in Swisher.
It just happened Orchard Street a week ago.
Right,
Yeah,
and where the whole street wasn't picked up. That's happened like 3 or 4 times. It's not just been that one time. And then another complaint I keep getting from people is like every week, it's like one time the stuff will get picked up at 7:30 in the morning. And then the next week, it might be 4 o'clock in the afternoon or whatever.
4 o'clock in the
When people are putting out, like, just for instance, like, I don't know, this was like 2 months ago, a month and a half ago. All of Swisher View Drive, the people, I mean, there's older people, there's younger people live on that street, take their garbage out there in the morning. At 4:30 at night, my dad's one of them and a couple other guys go out there and the garbage is still sitting there. So they pull it back into their house, and then about 5:30, the truck goes by.
So, and you're not wrong, okay? Month of January killed us. Flu killed us. So we were late. We were late, picking up a lot of the trash, a lot of the recycling, but we wanted to make sure we got it. We didn't want to push it to a different day. We're through that, so hopefully that will be getting better. I will leave all of you guys and Shelley my business card with my number on it. I have no problem you guys giving me a call. The only time I don't take calls, I'm in a meeting like this, or I'm driving a truck. It's the only time I don't answer the phone, otherwise I'll answer it. If I don't answer, leave me a message, I will get right back to you. At the end of the day, we're in the service business, right? It's trash. It's not rocket science. It's trash. So we need to provide the service and make sure we're picking it up. It's the bottom line, right? So we only get better by meetings like this, that we hear what the citizens of your town are saying, so we can get better. I will tell you, we try to be at the same time every week. Unfortunately, it's not possible all the time, right? Let's go back to the January thing. You know, we had so many people out, we're splitting up routes, we've got different people covering different territories. When you do that, you run into 2 problems. 1, the consistency of the time, and 2, you've got somebody running the town that's not really familiar with the town, and they forget where they're at. And they miss the street, right? So that's why we go back out. That's why we do it.
Could a lot of the timing issues as far as when you pick up certain people's trash, like on certain streets, is because you have different drivers or whatever that come in and they're not
In some cases, absolutely.
But you don't have like a perceived route that they should take in a
Because
certain
see, that's what it
town.
used to always be. I mean, for
Yeah.
years and years and years, it was always like, my garbage and recyclables were picked up at like 7:30,
Right.
8 o'clock in the morning, for years. I mean, for the whole time I've lived in my house, and that's,
Yeah.
So from a consistency standpoint, you are absolutely correct. And that is our goal, to get back to that, right? You know, we've got some people who retire, people leave for a better opportunity. And you've got new people that come in, and you train those new people.
But
We try to train them with that consistency
right,
to where people, you know, hey, my garbage truck is gonna be here at 8 o'clock in the morning. It's 8:05, where are they at, right? We try to keep that consistency. Unfortunately, from a logistical standpoint, it's not always possible, depending on what you guys.
cause I've had the same issue like what Kurt was talking about, where they had their trash out, it didn't get picked up, and it got late at night, and they were pulled their trash back.
Yep.
The only difference with me is I had a week I didn't pull my trash back, and it did get picked up. And I ended up having the trash bin full for another week.
Okay, and that shouldn't happen. That shouldn't happen, and again,
But
that's,
it did happen.
it should.
And
I think that, so I live on 3rd Street and I called in personally. So I called in because our trash didn't get picked up on Wednesday. I called Thursday. Okay, leave your trash bin out. Okay, I left it out. So it's out all Wednesday, all Thursday. I called again on Friday because it didn't get picked up Thursday, and I got a full voicemail. I called the corporate number. The corporate number said, we'll send them a message, they'll get back to you within 48 hours, business hours. So that's then Tuesday. Didn't hear anything. I called back Monday, got a busy voicemail. So at this point, my garbage has been out for 5 days. And then I obviously work for the city, so Shelly and I were on the phone and I drove around, and I counted probably 25 trash cans that didn't get picked up. Some of them were random,
And
like
then, when was this?
this was last week. So I did call, and I did leave my trash cans out. Also never got picked up. Orchard Street didn't get picked up. That whole loop, our road, at least 4 or 5 cans, and then some across the road. But I think the number one thing is communication. I think I would be totally fine if I got a message, because I do the communications for the city. If I got a message at 4 o'clock saying, hey, we're not gonna finish your town today, put a message out saying, hey, leave your trash cans out, they're running behind. That would be great, but you're told to leave them out and then you still don't come. And there were 2 instances of that happening. There was somebody that had called in. They said they were gonna empty that trash can and they were on their way to that house. And I went to that house on the phone with Shelly and their trash cans were still out. So I think the number one thing, I mean, if you're behind, like everybody is getting sick, all this crazy stuff is going on, but communication, because we do have elderly people. You know, the Kleins live across the street from us and they don't get around very well, and they are hauling their trash can out by themselves. And then like us, we have 5 kids, so our trash can is full usually on Tuesday. And I can't wait another week. And so finally, when I did get a hold of them, they said to put the extra bags out with the trash can, and they did pick it up, but I had to wait a whole another week. So 2 weeks for pickup.
and the thing about it, Mallory, though, you gotta remember, even if they contact you and let you know, you're not gonna be able to get it out to every
Right.
single,
Yeah.
right,
the only person you're gonna get it out to, you're gonna put it on the website. If somebody goes and looks on the website,
Shelley, this is the same company that we dealt with the missed recycling day.
yes.
The cleanup day.
So like, my issues is, you guys took over this contract,
How long ago was it? 2?
when did you guys purchase the company from Smith's?
2?
A little over 2 years.
2 years
Almost
ago.
3 years ago.
And I'll be honest, ever since then, I think there's been a huge drop off in customer service, accountability on your guys' part. I get mistakes happen and we rectify them and fix them. But when mistakes continue to happen, and we do have a contract that says pickup should be between 7 and 5. And when you get reports of trash pickup after 5 PM, that's breach of contract in my eyes. When you guys are scheduled to pick up and it continually doesn't happen, that's breach of contract in my eyes. When people call in personally and they get your guys' live number that you say, and the people say, I'm not even in Iowa, so I'll try and patch you through to them, but it isn't like we have customer service that is in North Liberty. the customer service, I believe, is based out of Illinois, isn't it? Where the company is, or?
In Monmouth.
Yeah, so to me, like, that's a big drawback as well, is when we're trying to get customer service when the business is supposed to be right down the road, but it's really not. So, to me, it's just, we continually keep having these, this is the second meeting now where it's, we promise to make things better, but they're not getting better, right?
And to Cody's point, us as council members, our biggest complaint in the town of Swisher shouldn't be the garbage and recycling pickup, and that's what I think almost everybody around here hears complaints from citizens in town about this. I mean, that should be a point that's not even discussed. It should be, I mean, they pay for the garbage pickups out of their pockets. I mean, they should not have a complaint about garbage pickup. It's not, like you said, it's not rocket science, and everybody deals with health issues, sickness. Every company has to deal with all that stuff. I totally agree with you. I know people are sick and the flu and everything, but business still has to go on. The town still has to be happy with what they're paying for, and they're not. I guarantee you the citizens in town are not happy with this contract right now.
I know multiple commercial accounts have been terminated in this city recently.
So if I could for just a moment, I apologize. So, guys, I've just taken over all of this stuff, Illinois and Iowa. I've been here 60 days. I can promise you that we will get this back under control. We have had some opportunities where we didn't plan well in the past for the holidays. We didn't plan well for winter and or the flu season. We have a lot of things that have happened in the last week and a half where we've had a hiring event. This gentleman and myself are interviewing 70 people between tomorrow and Wednesday to get our staff to the correct level. We can work on the communication as well. You guys can get my phone number as well.
Your names again?
Joey, Joey, last name is Scott. I'm the general manager for the Iowa location and for 3 of the Illinois locations. My phone number is 309-883-7131. And my email is Joey Scott, all one word, at lrsrecycles.com. And again, send me an email, call me. If I don't answer, it means I've got my phone sitting in the truck, and I will call you back as soon as I get back in, and we can check in and follow back up with you guys on any concerns that you may have as we move forward. Guys, again, that's what we're here for. I'm here to make the change. That's why I had to come into these markets to rectify some of these problems. So given the opportunity, guys, we'll get it solved for you. I understand that there's been issues in the past. I can't fix the past, but I can fix the future. If you guys will just give me an opportunity to get ourselves back under control and take care of the concerns. As far as the call center, there was an issue with that line. We have isolated that line this afternoon, and I have the IT group working on it now to make sure that it flows all the way through to the call center. And the call center is just across the line in Illinois. It's not in Chicago or somewhere else. It's in my market. So it's the call center for my facilities. So it's just a matter of that number for some reason, got isolated, but the circuit didn't complete through, so it was dumping him into a voicemail. And in 60 minutes, the voicemail would show full, and then it would shut down. And we did determine what that issue was today, and we're working to solve that. I've also hired some additional people in the call center, and they started work 2 weeks ago so that we have more people answering the phone. But at the end of the day, we pick it up, and you guys don't ever have to call, and that's what we want. We want to be your business partner as we move forward, and not have to be a situation where you guys have to call in. Again, it should be seamless. And we'll work on that. We'll work on also the direction on the way the route follows up and see if we can get a little bit better. It's not a very large town, so we should be able to kind of rectify the path that we follow.
All right, thank you, guys.
All right.
The next line item is for waste contract.
So I'm gonna make a motion right away. Motion for the city to file written notice 60 days prior for the contractor for poor service for termination of contract.
Adam, second.
I thought I heard him. Let me write it down first.
All in favor?
Aye.
Should we roll call this one?
You gotta roll call.
Okay, Klein,
Aye.
Enoch,
Aye.
Pujol,
Aye.
Roder,
Aye.
Stagg,
Aye.
All right.
Now, next.
Next is request for proposals for new waste service.
So on this line item, I will say, I do hope you guys, when we put this out for bid, do resubmit your bid. For our services, I would like to see your services in action, how you take over and make changes to the company that I think needed to be made. Does that mean we're gonna go with you guys? No, I'm not gonna confirm that to you. But I do think, reviewing other bids for services, I do think you have a better vision than what was before us, and I don't even remember the guy that came and met with us before. Was that
Dwayne,
that was Dwayne? That was him, so.
I took over for Dwayne, I've been here for about 6 months.
Okay, so I think there has been turnover within the company, so maybe it's turnover for the positive, I certainly hope so. So I do hope you guys submit a proposal for that.
so I did find this RFP out in Tanya's files and made a couple of changes. I hope that you had a chance to review it.
This
Obviously.
is for the bidding instructions?
How are we gonna post this, Shelley?
Well, we can notify, any contractors or services that, and I know ECOG has a list of local contractors as well. So I'll probably get with, oh my God, I just lost her name. Yeah. Them, to get a list.
Okay.
Okay, let's move on to
Do we have to
resolution.
make a motion to send this out for bid? Motion to put solid waste
How about
services
just to approve the RFP as
up?
written?
Sure, so moved.
Okay,
Second.
I don't know if you wanna do roll, I don't know.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Okay, we're on to line item 10, which is resolution 05-2025.
So just so the council's aware, I emailed out our bid document on the city property chemical lawn services to 5 companies. 2 additional had requested the RFP, and we got the 2, as are noted on the resolution.
What all properties does this cover? This covers the park and then like
Sewer
the
plant.
sewer plant and then like a little area here.
Yeah, around here, not the library, Laura doesn't prefer anything over there be sprayed, so.
And and what about just the little park here? Is there
Yeah.
anything?
Yeah, this one.
Yeah,
Yep,
okay.
mhm, yeah.
True Green held the contract last year, correct?
No,
Oh, no?
no, Ace
Oh,
did.
Ace did?
Oh, yeah.
They
They didn't bid,
didn't bid?
no, Kurt, your people didn't submit,
Did they?
no.
Do you remember relatively what the bid was for or the
That's
contract
pretty
for
close,
last year?
it's pretty close in between these two, so,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah.
I'll make a motion, we approve resolution 05-2025 for True Green.
Second.
Okay, roll call.
Klein,
Aye.
Enoch,
Aye.
Pujol,
Aye.
Roder,
Aye.
Stagg,
Aye.
Line 11, ordinance 12-2025.
Yeah, this is the ordinance that will get the city code in line with Johnson County's expiration of building permits, again, because ours was longer than what theirs currently is.
Motion, we approve ordinance 12,
You have to put it on a reading
2025.
first.
I'm sorry,
Don't we have to put on a reading?
this would be the first reading of
Okay.
it.
Oh, okay.
So
is that what the next,
So you, motion to place on first reading, right?
there you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah,
Right.
motion to place ordinance 12, 2025 on first reading.
Right,
Second.
okay. Okay,
Roll call.
Enoch,
Aye.
Pujol,
Aye.
Roder,
Aye.
Stagg,
Aye.
Klein,
Aye.
Okay. 112, waives separate reading requirements for ordinance 12, 2025.
Motion to waive second and third reading for ordinance 12, 2025.
Second.
Roll call.
Pujol,
Aye.
Roder,
Aye.
Stagg,
Aye.
Klein,
Aye.
Enoch,
Aye.
Okay, ordinance, line 13, 12, 2025. Consideration of separate readings.
Motion to approve ordinance 12, 2025.
Second.
Okay, roll call.
Roder,
Aye.
Stagg,
Aye.
Klein,
Aye.
Enoch,
Aye.
Pujol,
Aye.
Line 14, ordinance 13, 2025. First reading.
Yep, so this is, city code for the chapter 15 for mayor, which would change it from just the, per meeting compensation from $40 to $50.
That was the last one.
What?
That was the last one.
What do you mean the
I'm
last one?
confused, I don't know what he's talking about.
That's one right.
This is ordinance 13,
Yeah,
2025.
you're ahead.
Oh, I thought we just approved that.
Does, no. We just approved the zoning ordinance.
Alright.
So is the mayor just compensated based solely off these meetings?
No,
No, there's additional.
no, as the ordinance says, it's, $1,800 per year,
Oh,
plus,
plus the 50, okay.
plus, it was plus 40, so now it would read plus 50, if the council
So you
approves.
weren't at the last meeting.
No,
when we
why is this
discussed
brought up?
I brought it up.
Well, I guess what is your reasoning and logic behind?
My reasoning and logic is because, $40 for, I mean, I know nobody's doing this for the money. I know, I'm not doing it for the money, you're not doing it for money, we're all just doing it, but like other towns and everything is paying like way more than that for a city council. And we're always talking about not getting anybody to ever run for offices or anything, and with as valuable as everybody's time is, and, you know, with as busy as you are, as busy as everybody else is, I mean, it's just, I mean, I don't really care either way, but I'm just saying, I just think it's $40 is, you know, it's like $1,100 a year, like when Ely's paying $2,400 a year. I mean, granted, I know Ely's a little bit bigger town, but they don't have any bigger problems than we have either, you know, I mean, it doesn't matter to me, I don't care if it stays 40 or 50, I'm just saying it's, I mean, everything else in the world is going up, you know, it's not like.
I guess the way I look at it, we're trying to cut costs in this town, why are we increasing our pays? I mean, that's $60 a meeting times 24, whatever that is. I mean, $1,400 additional that the city's spending. When I first got on council 6 years ago, I actually asked if I tried to originally reduce the amount that we were paid, because to me, like, when I got elected to this seat, like $40 a meeting, like you said, it isn't much money.
Right, yeah,
So like, I truly don't matter, the money matters nothing to me. If we'd all agree to reduce compensation to zero, I'd be fine with it. Because then we'd truly get candidates that are, you know, only wanna make a difference in this town. To me, I can't see increasing this. If you guys vote that way, that's fine, but I don't see increasing compensation. You know, if anything, I could see increasing the mayor's salary from the $1,800 a year. I advocated for that, I think, a couple years back, simply for, you know, attending, at the time Mayor Taylor was attending all these meetings in Des Moines, this and that. I get travel and stays were compensated, but at the same time, someone that is involved in that and having to engage in all that, I could see increased compensation. But, you know, personally for me, I don't think we should look at increasing our pay. That's my 2 cents.
Okay, well, when we discussed this earlier too, before this got on the agenda tonight, And I was kind of given a history on the past too, because we talked about this a few years back. And at that time, and just like I was stating here the last meeting, there hadn't been a raise for council or mayor since, what, year 2000 or 2001. That's how long. And I agree with Kurt, maybe there's an issue with people running for office. And I do kind of disagree with you a little bit, Cody, on if you just went to zero and you weren't paying anybody to do this. People gotta realize, when you're sitting here on the council, a lot of times you're doing extra things outside of here that you're not getting paid for. You know, you may have to go to meetings, you may be designated for like, going to meetings to the fire department, or going to meetings to Iowa City for certain things. You may be involved in a project, and that project could entail doing Division Street or Howard, or doing sewer, or doing whatever else. That takes a lot of your time, a lot of your personal time, and you don't get paid for it. To increase this by $10 a meeting, that's really not much at all. And to be honest, whether or not somebody out there would be willing to put their name on a ballot to get on the council or run for mayor.
Nobody
maybe
gets on council for
You think
the
someone's
pay.
gonna go for $10?
Right, well, yeah, nobody gets on
No.
council for
But
the money. I didn't get on, I don't give a crap.
No, I didn't either, but what I'm saying is compensation wise for what you do, this is paltry to what the job actually entails.
So, for reference, because when I saw this, I asked, I think, or at the budget meeting, I said, who made this? And then you guys discussed, and it's on the next meeting. So, I think I calculated roughly, right? $1,400 additional it would cost the city, correct? But yet, we were the same council that at the budget meeting were getting kind of questionable about getting simple life insurance of
Right.
$400 a year
Right.
for our city staff.
Right.
So we're good to pay
But that-
$1,400 more for us,
But that
but
was,
life insurance to bury yourself
that was
for our
still, that
for
was
city
still
employees
being
was
discussed.
too much?
And that's also on this agenda, correct?
Life insurance?
Yeah, it is.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is, yeah.
So,
It is.
I just put it on the council agenda because if you're
You
gonna
make a
do it, you
decision.
gotta make a decision, and if it doesn't pass, then it
It's
stops.
on this agenda, which will be discussed at a later time. Yeah,
Just leave it at 40 then.
Well,
No,
no, it's gotta go through
it
the
has to go
motion
through the
because it's on the
so that's what I'm
agenda.
saying, like, if you're fine with increasing the pay, when we get to line item 17, you better make a similar decision on that one. We can't walk at $400 to take care of the people that are doing day-to-day stuff, but yet we're fine with cashing out $1,400 for our own personal gain. Which this actually doesn't, it takes a weird effect, right?
What's that? Yes, this does.
Increasing pay.
This wouldn't
It's
go
like-
into
this
effect
wouldn't go
until
into
January.
effect until after
January
the
1st.
next,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it'd have to be after the next election.
We rode this horse far enough, I make a motion we approve ordinance 13, 2025.
Second.
Okay, roll call.
Stagg,
Aye.
Klein, Enoch,
Aye.
Pujol,
Nay.
Roder,
Nay.
so it passes, so it'll come to a second reading.
Okay, you're fine. Ordinance 14, 2025, first reading.
Motion to approve ordinance 14, 2025.
Second.
Second.
Okay, roll call.
Klein,
Aye.
Enoch,
Aye.
Pujol,
Nay.
Roder. Roder,
Nay.
Stagg,
Aye.
okay?
Okay, line 16. CTS LLC General Business Terms Statement of Work.
So this is the, statement of work with,
Corridor Technology Solutions.
Yeah, I was trying to think of his first name.
And Jacob is on.
Jacob, yes, thank you. Jacob Hargrathen for,
IT.
yep, IT services, that was discussed, yep.
Motion to approve statement of work with CTS
Second.
and for city clerk to sign on behalf of the city.
I got a question on that. Is there any limit to the hours or is that just as we need it?
I think that would be a question for Jacob, yeah.
Did you hear that, Jacob?
Jacob, are you there?
Do you have to unmute him now, right?
I just asked him to unmute.
No, that's okay.
I'm here.
Just-
Sorry.
Okay.
What was your question there?
What was the question?
Is there a limit or is this as needed as far as the hours?
Yeah, it was just a recommended for 2 hours a month.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Okay, vote is all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Life and AD&D coverage.
Just for Councilman Heenek, you had the question of whether it was term insurance.
Yes.
It is term
Okay.
insurance, and obviously when an employee would terminate employment, the insurance would terminate.
Yeah,
Okay.
Motion to approve covering full-time employees with life insurance and AD&D.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
How much of it?
Yep, 20,000 on the life and
Okay.
25,000 on the accidental death and dismemberment.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, 18, the lost vote on March 4th, 2025.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that council was aware that the polling place had changed, the location had changed. It is not the vote, you do not go to the, what is it, Midnight Gem to vote, you would go over to the is it Shoeyville Community Center?
Why is that?
On the hill.
Because Johnson County Elections Office didn't realize that on that day, the gem is booked.
Oh.
Yeah, for some type of an event.
It's March 4th,
March, yep,
and that's all over the website and everything, right? Perfect.
yeah.
And
Thank you.
Have you posted the venue change? I thought I saw
Yeah, so I knew about the venue change before Shelley
I was
did.
worried that it wasn't.
Yep, so it
Yeah.
was posted correctly.
I thought I saw it somewhere.
I just wanted to make sure council was aware in communication that you wouldn't be caught blindsided by that. Like I was.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
It is 7:22.